This is in the apocalypse. I'm radioactive.
What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're not being dumb like me and getting in your car that has an automatic starter and not starting it prior to coming outside and just deciding to freeze your butt off. Because that's what I did. So now I'm really cold and hoping the car warms up pretty quick, which it usually tends to. So today's mission is I'm looking for ghost shrimp for my wife's fish tank, because I'm trying to breed them so we don't have to keep buying them food all the time, because we have a Jack Dempsey cichlid who likes to eat everything and buddy and fish. Yeah. So the general thing is all right, so my stepdaughter won a shrimp breeder tank at a pet store, which was funny as hell. It's a $100 tank. She tossed it was a beanbag toss thing. You have to get 2 in the hole out of 3 and you get a free tank. And of course, you know, I tried, I got one in and got pissed off because I'm like, blah, 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 I didn't do it, you know, whatever. I'm like, fuck. Well, wouldn't you know, she turns around, she just nonchalantly fucking throws them and gets them in the hole. So we came home with a fish tank that was $100 and it had the full setup, and it's basically set for breeding shrimp. So now my mission is to find some shrimp to start breeding, because these things are a pain in the butt to find. You can go to any pet stores and usually they never have them, because people, they literally line up for them. Like the day they know a truck is coming, these people will go to these stores and wait for these shrimp to come in to just buy all of them, because they're, well, if you eat shrimp, you know shrimp tastes good, and let's just face it, fish that like to eat other fish love shrimp. You know, which they're primarily I like them because they're bottom feeders, so they'll clean the tank a little bit, but they never last with the Jack Dempsey, because he takes whole fucking goldfish and swallows them whole. So ghost shrimp don't last too long, so we're going to be putting them in the separate tank, breeding them, and then putting them in for snacks. You know, so I've never really elaborated on the fish tank that we have. So the cool thing is, I'm going to take the GoPro and dip it in the tank. So let's go. Now, enough with the fishiness. Oh, damn it, I'm getting sick. So, people are wondering, and I'm also wondering in my own head, because things have been kind of, quiet. So the whole fire thing is now past. It's been 3 weeks. You know, so a lot of people are now wondering, okay, so what's the future plans? So I'm driving the Mustang now, which initially I came out and said that I despise and I hate. And I'll be honest, I've recently started to grow to, I don't want to say I love it yet, but I'm getting there. You know, the Mustang's nice. You know, I got to get used to, you know, it essentially. You know, the Camaro was nice and obnoxious, which is what I liked. This thing is kind of bland and boring. So essentially I have to try and, you know, stick some money aside and do some modifications to this, so that way I can bring it to my standard. Saturday, Lethal Visions Vinyls is getting a hold of this car to put the decal on the back window for the logo, because I really hate driving a car around with the cameras on it and people taking pictures and videos and not knowing, you know, where the car came from. Granted, some people do know, but you know, in general, like if it's somebody's first time seeing the car with the cameras on and they've never seen the Camaros, they probably don't know. And a lot of people that were used to seeing me with the Camaros probably don't realize that the same guy that had the Camaros now has a Mustang, you know, and is doing the whole thing. So I don't think a lot of people can connect the dots, considering my audience isn't that large. I do have 146 subscribers now, which is awesome. It's been growing. I love it. Thanks, guys, for everything. You know, I'm really waiting for this thing to kick off. You know, YouTube's been doing relatively good now. It's steady. You know, so my thing is now for the summer, I want to host events now. There's going to be events. You know, and this is not anything to do with like how Street Speed 717 does the YouTube call. This is totally separate and different from all that. But I want to host some events to try to get some people together, primarily smaller people, you know, so we can do some things. There are going to be car shows that I'm going to host or co-host. I'm not sure of the details yet, but I'm figuring in my head I want to try to plan 3 shows. That's throughout the whole year. I want to try to do something in the beginning, middle, and end. So essentially, most car shows are, you know, fundraisers. They do some charitable work. They do something, you know, or other, whatever. Well, I inquired about my situation with, you know, the fire and everything, and I am going to set shows up to try to generate some of that income back that I lost. You know, I lost a lot. I lost a lot of money in the Camaro. I've been losing a lot of money in the Vet. And just in general, I lost a lot of money that was inside of the garage. And a lot of people don't fully understand that. You know, honestly, one of these videos, I'm going to have to sit down and actually give a breakdown on how everything happened, on how I got screwed. But that's the thing, is that, you know, out of an $8,000 deposit, I'm getting $1,200 back, you know, which is why we're in the Mustang. And the Vet I still owe on, because it was a personal loan. There's no coverage on it, so I still have to pay that now. You know, and then just in general, like everything I had in the garage, you know, I can't even do an oil change now at this point, because everything's gone. And then aside from that, I had all my camera equipment, except for the one GoPro that was recovered, was in the car and is gone. So a lot has been lost, and it sucks. So the shows are going to be, you know, to help try to recover some of that, which, you know, obviously receipts for things purchased, you know, are going to be saved in a file, you know, to show where money is going to. Because ultimately, if you have a show and you say, like, okay, like I had a fire and I need to buy, like let's say it was like your whole house or something, right? And let's say you needed to buy like new beds or something, or whatever it may be. If you have a show and you state that, you know, the money is going to a specific item, like let's say bedding, you know, you have to dedicate that money to that, or it causes a problem. You know, so whatever you generate the money for is where it has to go. So this isn't a, like, you know, a get rich thing or something to profit off of, but essentially I am hoping to raise at least $10,000, you know, through the summertime, you know, to gain back. And either, you know, you know, I don't really know necessarily how I'm going to direct it, but one thing is for certain, the Vet has to get paid off. So $2,500 of that would be going towards paying off the Corvette, so I don't have to have that headache holding over me anymore. And then the remainder, you know, could end up going towards another Camaro. I have to make a decision on, you know, if I just want to dump that back into the Mustang, or if I want to, you know, get involved with another Camaro, which I did some looking last night, and I could get a used Camaro, like a 2010, 11, 12, 13, Any of those years, which would be another 5th gen, you know, I could get back into a 5th gen Camaro for between $6,000 to like $10,000. And that's just like a Craigslist thing. That's something used, you know. Or I can always, you know, put the money aside, hold on to it, and then, you know, when the time comes, you know, jump on it, you know. So I don't really know, you know, how it's going to actually work. I got to figure out what I want to do, you know. But either way, that's the gist of it. So I'm hoping to host 3 shows, which I am going to give access to exclusive people to come to these shows where they don't have to actually pay to get in, which is going to be like Gregory Salvatore. You know, if he wants to come, you know, he does YouTube. So if he wants to come to one of these events, you know, he gets free access because he's going to be covering the story on it. He's going to be filming inside the show, so he will gain, you know, special invitation, you know, to park. Pretty much everybody that's in the YouTube pack will gain the access, you know, for that day. And then also like Ty Motor, you know, he's a kid, you know, and does car stuff, and he's been following me for quite some time, so I would give him access to come in. And then, you know, if I don't know if something that Carolina Man could necessarily, you know, get into. I don't know if he's able to come this way. As far as I know, there's some distance between me and him. But if he's able to come to an event, then I would, you know, I would give him access as well. So there's my idea per se. So I just got to get, you know, things situated with how I'm going to, you know, go about doing it. So we'll see ultimately how it happens. You know, but anything that's generated isn't going to go towards like modding the Mustang. Like, it's not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to raise all this money and then I'm going to like dump it into the Mustang for modification stuff. Like, no, it's going to go towards putting my deposit back on this, you know, which essentially the Camaro had, or going towards, you know, the recovery of another Camaro. You know, I don't know necessarily how I'm going to work it yet. Okay, that's scary shit. This train light was just flashing and now it's stopped. I don't like that. I don't see a train though. So, anything else then I will add on later. As I said, you know, I'm headed to the store right now to try to find these ghosties. So if I find them, you know, I'll let you know. I'm hoping I do. So I'll catch you guys on the other side.